Friday, weekend tomorrow. We had 4 or 5 questions left to do. We've saved the best till last. We've saved cylinders till the end. And what I would say is about cylinder questions is if we know what the formulas are for circles, pen's not working. If we know what the formulas, still not working. No, I don't want to. If we know what the formulas are for circles, then we know what the formulas are for a cylinder. Right, well, I'm going to do the pizza topping. Therefore, that's the area. And that is found out with pi times radius squared. The circumference, the pizza crust, is circumference. And that is found by pi times diameter. If we're looking at a circle, we know the radius is from an outer point to the mid. That's radius. And then the diameter is all the way across, crossing the midpoint. So this question is only 3 points. And so when you see a cylinder and you think it's only worth 3 points, don't just skip it. It's worth doing it. It's not that difficult. When you see letters as well, don't panic. Y is 11. So straight away, we can think, well, that's 11 because that's just one Y on its own. 3 Ys, 3 times 11. So that's saying that's 33. And it's not saying the distance around the circle is 33. It's saying from edge to edge. Therefore, the diameter is 33. So using 11 as Y, calculate the area of the surface of the curved surface. So we want to calculate all that part. And then all the bit around the back as well. So if we're peeling that label off, we're peeling a label off a big block of cheese, something like that. We've got a whole circle right round. And we know that that part is 11. We don't know what this part is. It's not 33. That's the diameter. So it's not 33 times 11. And I've done the question, I'm out. It's the circumference of the circle. That will be the whole distance around here, and therefore the wrapper that wraps around. So we must do it in 2 steps. We need to work out the circumference first. And once we've got the circumference, we can then times it by the 11. So let's work out the circumference. It's pi times by diameter. So it's 3.14 times by the diameter, which we were given as 33. I've been using my normal calculator today, but I'm going to use the screen one because it's just helpful when I know I'm only doing it on my own. If I've got people doing it in class, then I do it on my normal calculator so they can then figure out what buttons they're pressing as well. 3.14 multiplied by 33. And we've got 103.62. So that's now our long part of our shape. So 103.62 centimeters times by 11 centimeters, and that is the area of the curved surface. I put times in. That's making my sums easier than what they were. Times by 11, and again we can use our calculator. It should be still in there, so we're just going to times it by 11. 1,139.82. 1,139.82. And that'll be centimeters squared because it's a flat piece of sticker or label or whatever we're doing wrapped right around it. Try to think of a good example, but I can't really think of one when it's like a circle with something plastic around it. No, piece of yeah, I have to go back to my roller wrapper, but it wouldn't be that size, would it? So it'd be like long and thin. So it's the wrapper right round the circle part of a piece of packaging. And that's 3 points. Let's go to the next question. We're still on circles. I can see the word semicircle right there. That's jumping out at me. So when we see the word semicircle, I want to underline it and put a 2 underneath because I know I've got to divide my whatever I do for the circle. I've got to divide by 2. It's told me the radius, so that's interesting. It's giving me the information I need already, and it's asking me to work out how many boxes of seed I need when each box of seed covers 18.5. So it's similar to questions we've had before where you work out the area or the surface or something and you find out how much paint it needs and things like that. So we can look at working out the area of this rectangle first. 5.8 times 12.2. With that, we've got 5.8 times by 12.2, 70.76. 70.76. And if you look at that as meters squared, now we're talking meters squared. But we've got a flower bit to take out. So we're going to take that flower bit out. It's a semicircle. So when we work out the area, it'll be the whole area, hence why we divide it by 2. It's give us the radius, so that's quite useful, because we know when we're working out the area of a circle, it is pi times radius squared. We've got the radius, it's shown us. So we're going to go pi times radius squared. 3.14 times by 3.2 squared. So we're going to do 3.2 squared first because we're going to do the indices, part of BIDMAS. 3.2 times 3.2 is 10.24. 10.24. We've still got the 3.14, hence that pi has not changed. We're going to times it by the pi. 32.1536. 32.1536. Then we must divide by 2 because it's not the whole flower bed. Common mistake there would be where we haven't divided it by 2 and we've got more grass seed than what we need because we're thinking we're covering the whole lot. Or we're taking away more actually, aren't we? Because we would have taken away the whole circle when it's only half of it on there. So it's 160768. 160768. That's what we're taking off. So our big rectangle that we've got is 70.76 and the semicircle part we're taking away is 0768. I don't think that the points, the bits and the numbers after decimal place will make much of a difference yet, but it's just keeping them in there because it's not too huge. We're only got 4 decimal places. Take away 16.0768. 54.6832. 54.6832. Right, we can see that each box of seed covers 18.5. So when we're doing like the conversion questions, we've got the big number, which is 54.6832, and we divide it by the smaller number to find out number of boxes. So we've got that number in our calculator. We're going to divide it by 18.5 and we've got 2.995 equals 2.995. When we look at that, we know we need 3 boxes. We can't buy 0.999, so we're going to have 3 boxes of grass seed. Hopefully, and I said this yesterday, we don't have sphere questions with NCFE, so we're not going to do that one. There's no point doing a question where we've got questions that are beyond what NCFE are asking you to do. They don't ask you to work with spheres. So that's quite good. Let's scroll down to this one. And this one we've tackled before, but I will do it again because I think it's an important question where it's got a few different things going on. It's a 5 marker, not a 6 marker, so it's not max. John lives on a farm and uses oil for his heating. His oil is stored in a tank that is the shape of a cylinder. The dimensions are 1.2 by 1.5. We can see that. The tank is a quarter full. John wants to order some oil to get it as it's getting colder. He will have enough to fill the remainder of the tank, so he's going to fill 3/4. John thinks that he'll need to order more than 1,250 litres. So more than. Might be only 1 litre more, it might be 100 litres more, but it's more than. Is he correct? Let's find out. So to work out the volume, we need three measures, right? We need height, length, width. Well, really, yes, we do, but it's the volume, when we're working out the volume, it's mainly a cross section of any shape. You'll see what I'm doing now. So the cross section of that cylinder is what? It's our pizza topping. It's the area of a circle. That's the cross section. So we're going to have area of circle. So the cross section, if you think about it being a square, it's not a square tank, it's a round tank. But if once we've worked out the area of that part and times it by the then height, it's exactly the same. Width times length times height. Whereas we haven't got the width and length of a circle, we've got the area of a circle, like we would have the area of that flat piece there. So it's exactly the same. So the area of a circle multiplied by the height. And that's going to give us the volume in meters cubed. So the area of a circle, we need, I was going to draw it again here, pi times radius squared. Pi is 3.14. The radius is not 1.2. That's the diameter all the way across. So first of all, we need to divide that by 2. So 1.2 divided by 2 is 0.6. So times by 0.6 squared equals. We're going to do the squared first because that's an indices, and BIDMAS means we do the bracket. There's no bracket, so it's I bit first. So 0.6 times 0.6 gives us 0.36. Can't really fit it down. I'm going to fit it up here though. 0.36 times by 3.14 times by 3.14 equals 1.1304 meters cubed volume. Okay, 3D basically. And once we've got that, we now can move on to the next part where he's got a quarter of that already. So we've got meters cubed. Well, if we look at meters cubed, so we got 1, that's meters cubed, and that's liters, 1,000. Well, we've got 1.1304, so we need to times it by 1,000 to get what it is in liters. Because if you look at from that number to that number, we times by 1,000, so we need to times that number by 1,000. So we've got our number times by 1,000 to give us liters, 1130.4. 1130.4 liters. Right, and then we move that number because we now have done all that. We got the 1130.4 when it's full. He's already got a quarter of that. So what's the easiest way to work this out? There's several ways, isn't it? Well, if we've got a fraction, we could divide it by 4 and times it by 3. So then we get in 3/4. It's two steps, really simple. We could 1130.4. We can divide it by 4, get a number. Let's do that. This is the slowest way, but it's exactly the same. Divide by 4. We know that 1/4 is 282.6. 281. Oh, it's not 2. It's 282.6 liters that he's already got. So we've divided by 4 and we know that he's already got a quarter. So then we would do our number 1130.4, take away what he's already got in there. And that gives us another answer. Or if we're looking at it from a decimal and a fraction point of view, if we've already got 1/4, I'm thinking, well, he's already got 0.25. And if he needs to fill the rest up, he needs 0.75 because that's the remainder. If those two added together equal a full tank, equal 1. So with my number that I've got 1130.4, I don't need to divide it by 4 and times it by 3. I can, and it's exactly the same, but I'm just going to multiply it by 0.75 because that's what I want. I want 3/4 of my number. So instead of dividing it and then timesing it, I've just done one step. I've done my 1130.4 and I've multiplied it by 0.75. And I've now got 847.8. 847.8. So if we look at that, my brain's thinking I've done something wrong here because I thought it was closer than that normally. Okay. John thinks I need to add them on. Clearly not. What have I done wrong here? 1130, 1130. Okay. 8. That seems strange, doesn't it? That it doesn't need to order more than. Interesting. Let's have a quick look at what we've not done right. What have we not done right, people? Oh gosh, I tell you what we've not done right. Oh man, right back at the start. Look, we didn't times it by the. Did we times it by the height? Did we times it by the height? If we didn't times it by the height, we've got to go all the way back to the start. Right. My goodness. Friday afternoon mistake. Well, my one mistake of the day. I'll let me off. Times by 0.36, 0.36, 1.13. We didn't, did we? Then we didn't times it by the height. 1.5. Oh my word. I thought it seemed like way off. Right, okay. Let's oh my gosh, let's rub out a lot of this information that we've got. Not because it's incorrect, which I know it is, but because we've done the right process for finding out 3/4 and turning it into liters and things like that. However, because we've got the wrong number to start with, we would have really fallen behind on the marks for that one because we've made a mistake early on. We've done the correct workings out for the rest of it, so we potentially would get 2 out of the 5. Maybe 2. I mean, I would like to think 2 because we've worked out what 3/4 is. We've shown how to work out the area of a circle, so we've done some of the order of what we need to do. So what we didn't do, and what I'm going to do now, is I didn't multiply my area of my circle times by 1.5. And if those of you who've done this question before were shouting at the screen or did that, then absolutely hats off to you because, yeah, I forgot. 6956, 6956. Then we times that by 1,000 to get liters. So we've then got 1695.6 liters. So we're now at the same place we were before. Like I said, we can divide it by 4 times by 3. We could divide it by 4 and then take away that amount. Or, like I said here, 0.25 is what we've got. We want 0.75. So we could do 1695.6 times by 0.75 and we'll get a number closer, I think. I told you. Right, okay. So we've got 1271.7. I knew it was close. And so yes, he is correct because we're ordering more than 1,250 liters. We're only 1,271. Okay, and that brings us up to the questions we were doing the other day where we filled, because we worked backwards on this question. I wondered why it had given me all the answers. It's because on this question, it didn't give me the answers. So if you're happy to have a look at this one, you would do the line of best fit. And again, don't remember, there's parameters, so you won't go kind of do it there, or you wouldn't go and go it there. It's got to be looking like it's hitting as many or as close to as many of the crosses as you possibly can. So, I mean, that one's a bit of an anomaly. So maybe I would definitely stick to those. What's the one look like on the next page? Yeah, they've kind of ignored that one as well. They've got this a little bit lower, but if I did it there, I'd still get something similar to what they're getting here. I'd go up at 4. Yeah, get a bit higher. Look, because on that one, it's just okay. So if I go up at 4 on this one, let's see what I would get. I'd go across to there. I'd get 28. 4.2, isn't it? 4.2. So look, 4.2, go across. No, I get 26. I get 26, and the parameter there was 22 to 26. So I'd still be in the same parameters as that. Then I'd look at the line best fit I've done. Then I've got a correlation. Engine size 2.3, average fuel economy size 6. If Babe, I've just finished. Where you been?
Where you doing? You one?